Okay. If you did not return it to the dealer, I'd like to find out where it is now, who's using it, and how much are we paying on that monthly. Thank you. I'll look at it at the next meeting. Thank you.
Tom Madden.
My name is Tom Madden. I live in Alvin. My daughter attends Howell High School as part of the Cannabis program. And my question is regarding the activities bus situation right now. Mr. Boyce and I have had several conversations on this, but I'd like to bring it to the attention of the board, get some information for myself on why this was deployed such that students in town are dropped at a longer distance because of funding issues and such. I understand that, but that the out-of-town students, but still members of the district who happen to attend that high school, are dropped centrally, one per town. I'd like to know why that was not considered part of the base requirement for bidding on buses, that they be dropped off at the same spot that the in-town students would be dropped, which is, in most cases, a reasonable distance walkable. The way it stands now, my daughter would have to walk 1.5 miles across Route 9 in the dark, which I find unacceptable. And it's limiting her capability to participate in activities that she'd like to participate in. So I'd just like to know what the thinking was that went into that in general.
Yeah. So we'll address all the questions once everyone has had an opportunity to participate. So we'll get your question after everybody. Okay? Thank you.
Could you ask them to move the mic closer to them when they speak? It's very difficult to hear. Thank you.
Karen Madden.
Oh, I'll talk. Sorry.
Lynn Williams.
My name is Lynn Williams, and this is my husband, Scott Frankiel. We're here really for the same situation as the Maddens. Our daughter will have to walk over 5 miles home in the dark with no sidewalks. And this is really an unacceptable situation to have one drop-off. These are our brightest kids that go to the learning centers and academy programs. And to just leave them, off, far away from their homes is really unacceptable. That's really all I can say.
What township?
We're in Freehold Township. So it's a municipal center where the drop-off is, which is 5 miles from Farmington.
I said one other thing I wanted to add that I don't know if you considered. I think my daughter's assigned drop-off spot is town hall in Freehold, which might work for her because she'll have a license in a couple of months. But it doesn't work at all for her because she doesn't have to drop off her car in the morning there and get picked up. So I don't know if that's something you considered when you were coming up with this plan or not. That's something that might help us a little with a bunch of kids that don't drive. So.
Right. There's a lot of other options, I think, that may have been considered. One of the things is that Freehold Township is a late school. Howell is an early school. If you drop these kids off at Freehold Township, they can go home on the late buses with Freehold Township. That would not work for everyone. Unfortunately, we have almost 1,200 kids in the learning centers and academies. And, a handful can be helped these ways, but the bulk of them not.
Some of the incredible variety of situations. Unfortunately, some we're going to fall through, but and we'll address all the questions at the end. But we're going to put some more time in to fix this stuff up.
Okay, well, that's good news.
One more thing, it also might have been helpful if you give her this preferential treatment or some additional thought behind assigning parking spaces to students, because she can get the opportunity to pick a parking spot. And if she had one again as a driver, that would be helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Higginson.
Mason. I'm from Marlboro Township. And I'm pleasantly surprised to hear that you might be voting on keeping winter track where it is. From a parent's perspective, my daughter was involved in track. She's now a student in Princeton University. And could she have gotten in Princeton University without the district's ability to train her and make her a track star? Probably not. You know, getting into college today, it's just not your mark. She was a great student. She was an A student. She was number 2 in the class. She still couldn't have gotten to Princeton without being a great athlete. We need other things today besides academics, clubs, but sports is a great tool to help kids get not only in the great colleges, but to get into a better college than they could have gotten into. There's some kids play football, they're big and strong. Some tall can play basketball. But track, it's a different kind of kid who excels at that. And what do we want from our sports? We want to keep them off the streets, not smoking, not drinking, not getting in trouble. And there's no sport better than track and indoor track. I heard comments said, well, they got outdoor track and they got cross-country track. Well, track and field events in the state of New Jersey is a very competitive thing. And to get into good college, you need good numbers and you need to be trained well. Well, indoor track is the training of where you get your strength and durability for winter track. If we did not have indoor track, our kids going into outdoor track, competing with all these other high schools that have had indoor track, we'd be at such a big disadvantage. It doesn't take like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to make a great run. It takes 4 years strengthening your endurance. You know, it would be a travesty if we lost indoor track. And I hope when we vote tonight, at least I heard that he's come up with something and it sounds good, but you know, please let's not lose for the kids. It's all about the kids. And there's an awful lot of kids. It's not an expensive sport, but it's a very important sport for all runners. You could not be a great outdoor runner without having that indoor. And when you go to college, if you want to go on a scholarship or you want to try to help yourself get in, your outdoor track numbers, they're not going to see them. They make up their mind by the indoor numbers. That's the things they look at when you go into college and they're recruiting you. It's what you did indoors. Outdoors, it's too late. You know, and your senior year is your important year. So indoors is very, very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Nancy Locascio.
Nancy Locascio, I have a couple of things. First of all, thank you very much for restoring funding to advance travel and for winter track. As I said, the last meeting, those were two programs that were very important to my family and my kids. I would like you to repeat, if possible, the list of programs that were cut at the beginning of the superintendent's report. You quickly went through the laundry list of, I know you have to tell me later, I know. Went through a list of the ones that were cut, and I would like to know the ones that, you know, it sounds like you're only restoring two tonight. I'd also like to know if the board, as chairperson of the policy committee of another district, a sending district to Colts Neck High School, I'd like to know if you use Strauss Esme as part of your policy development. It's, you know, I know that the policy committee is new to you, and it's a good service. I think you guys do, I can't remember. We do?
Yes.
We do? Okay, good. The issue I really wanted to talk to you about tonight, though, was class size. And I want to know if the board members get a copy of how big some of those classes are. I've heard in this room many times, they're going to be 30, they're going to be 40, but do you really know? Because some of them, there isn't seats. My son is in AP history class, AP English class, excuse me, not enough seats in there. There's over 34 children in that class. There's only 12 in his AP English, AP history, excuse me, and that's great, I love that, but that just doesn't make sense. His brother's a freshman in college this year. There's more kids in his freshman English class than, there's less kids, I'm getting confused. In his college class, there's less than in a high school class, and that's just ridiculous in the AP English class. So I'd like to know if you guys get a list. You really know, if you got the kids in the schools, you really know how big those classes ended up being and how there is that extreme disparity amongst the classes. Because I would wager to say you don't really know. So I'd like to know if you guys know. And then finally, when people talk about busing cuts, I want every parent to always remember that the reason why we are in this situation, whether it's not getting kids to band performances or kids having to walk further than they used to, is because our budget failed. And because this district doesn't have almost $1 million that we could have had our budget passed. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of the list. Anyone who didn't make it, come on up, sir.
I think you can hear me. My name is Earl Fulcher, and I'm president of the Greater Freehold chapter of the NAACP. My chapter covers all of the Freehold Regional High Schools. I too am concerned, as the gentleman was earlier, about the track program. I personally know students who left the track program and went to Annapolis or West Point. I believe this is a program that has a great value. To go even further, once you start doing these things, especially when you start talking about pay to play, these things have a habit of morphing over other areas. And I'd hate to see it where it got to the point where it goes to something like basketball or football, where each parent thinks his child is the greatest, and because they're paying, they think their child should pay, which puts a great strain and the abuse that would, as Mr. Moses knows, they would be putting on coaches. Now these are things we have to consider if we're going to talk about pay to play or even think about it. But as far as the track is concerned, you are doing quite a few students a disservice who could have used that to get into certain schools. Not just Princeton, and not just the schools that you name, but in all these schools now, if you go for a scholarship, or even on academics, they want more than just that. And you say, well, we're going to cut this out, we're going to cut that out. And even cheerleading, which really, they put in as much time as an athlete. They get scholarships, but they aren't recognized. So I think we need to really consider what we're doing when we start voting on these programs. That's all.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes. Well, let's get through anyone who has. Yes, the hand.
Hi, Marcia Bergman Alphen. I just wanted to thank you for your proposal to reinstate track. It's going to mean a lot to all the track students and parents. I had one question. I didn't understand the reduced meet schedule for track. So if you could explain further what that means. How many meets would they be having if they had their normal year, and how many are being cut? Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Good evening. I'm Georgette Fitzgerald. I'm from Colts Neck. I'm one of the members of the high school band. You may answer this question when you bring up the answer to Nancy Lacashio's question regarding what was cut. I just want clarification. Are you including the dance team as part of the restoral of band going to the away games? You mentioned the band and the cheerleaders. The dance team is an integral part of that team spirit, so we really need them to go along as well. My other question is, you listed items. I did not hear the band festival listed, so I wanted to be sure that that was restored as well.